how people get it wrong when it comes to branded dropshipping. So with Femny, it was started how I would start any other brand. We had the branding with the logo, the brand style, the brand ideology, but what wasn't clear at the time was the products that we were selling. So when Femny first started out, we began selling jewelry. It then transitioned into bags. But what I want to get at today is the difference between how you should actually start versus, the people that go into general dropshipping and how they actually get it wrong. So let's just start out for now on Femny. So Femny was a woman's handbag brand. Let's just draw this brand handbag here. And the idea and principle behind this was to test multiple products in the fashion niche and try and find a winner based upon our testing. So what we'd do, we'll create, a woman's fashion brand, and in this case, it was Femny London. We created the whole brand ideology for women's fashion. And within this store, we tested multiple products. Let's just say store here. We tested multiple products within this store, whether that was handbags, whether that was jewelry, but they were all aligned to this brand. None of the products we actually tested deviated from this brand. So we wasn't selling, pet products here. We wasn't selling, car stuff or anything like that. It was all aligned within this brand. So what we would do, we would test multiple products underneath this brand and making sure it was all aligned with our branding, who we stand for, and everything else was building a real brand. Was getting these products, using the product images from the suppliers that they gave them, but also getting pictures ourselves. So we'll get them from China and we'll simply shoot them in the studio once we've actually got some sale on them. So what we'd actually do is find the winners from our tests, but underneath this store, it would be all aligned in the women's fashion niche. And what we found out is some of these products that we got the most sales on, got the most traction, were these bags. And what we noticed is that, at the time, we would sell a lot of these variants, it was probably the 80-20 rule, where, 20% of these products on the site accounted for 80% of the results. And by using this information and gathering data from testing these, running ads to these products and building this brand, was that, we found that we had certain styles of handbags that would just generally do really well. So we completely transitioned this store. We got rid of all the jewelry to cut out, the distraction, the nonsense in there, and completely did it as a handbag brand. So when we actually came to testing new products and new styles, it was, all aligned under this brand as a handbag brand. And what most people, forget to realize is that when they come to actually testing products, you may have heard countless people say, test 3 to 5 products a day, and once you've found the product, then, but the problem with actually doing that is when you do this, there's a massive disconnect between the avatars that you actually send into your brand and the products that you are selling. Say for an example, this person here has seen an ad for a handbag, let's say. They've gone to this website here, but there's also products in the pet niche. There's also products and it's just like a massive general store. There's no branding. The Instagram looks terrible. The socials doesn't have any structure. And essentially, this person here is going to be put off by that. So what we need to do is, for starters, pick a general sort of niche, whether that's, women's fashion, whether that's like automotive, whether that's, it could be, men's fashion, it could be anything along these lines, but pick an overall sort of big niche and test products that fit your brand. And once you've actually found products that win, convert that store into a store that, like we did here, convert that store into a sort of handbag brand and only sell these handbags. Just drop the pen lid. And only sell these handbags. And once we actually, found these products, and our strategy to actually finding new products was that, we eventually transitioned to this store that had, multiple handbag collections on there. And what we would do is test, maybe a couple products, 3 to 5 products a week. And we would drive traffic to these new products, but we'd also have these existing handbags that, would do well. But it was all aligned within this brand. So there wasn't a disconnect of where a customer would come to the store and, they've got all these different products on the site. It's not cohesive, the branding's way off, and they ultimately go away. So what we've got to realize is when we're advertising to, people who have never seen our brand before, it usually takes around 5 to 7 touch points. Let's put here. This board is a mess, but ignore that. It usually takes around 5 to 7 touch points, whether that's someone seeing your Instagram, whether that's seeing an ad multiple times, in order for them to actually come in here and make a purchase. Very rarely do people, make impulse purchases. Yes, it does happen. Yes, it does happen at a large scale, but for the majority of people, 80%, let's say, these people are going to need some nurturing. They're going to need warming up to your brand. And if there's no brand presence and there's a massive disconnect between you're selling, pet products here, this is supposed to be a dog, but you're selling pet products here, you're selling handbags here, you're selling jewelry here. Like, where's the brand? And when this person, sees this brand, whether that's on Instagram, whether that they see other ads that you're running, then why are they going to come and purchase from your brand when they can, go to Amazon and get most of these products? But when you actually build a brand around this, none of these products that we were selling had any logos. It was all based upon this brand that we're building here. And they were just simply unbranded products, but this store all looked cohesive, all looked branded to the average consumer because of the content that we created in this brand. And literally all the products was aligned on the store. We had custom content from, from influencers or UGC creators, and it just looked and felt like a real brand. So there was no sort of reason for someone to come and, not trust it. Whereas if you have a store that's, unsure on the branding side, it's got multiple different products that, don't fit the brand, then there's a massive disconnect there. And this is where most people actually get wrong when it comes to branded dropshipping. So as we just talked about before with Femni, now let me just put this back up here for a second, fix this board. So as we mentioned before about fully branding out your store, to look and feel like a real brand, customers just wouldn't know the difference. And we also did this through the packaging as well. So we actually created for Femni is these actual dust bags for the bags. So we went to our suppliers and basically said, can you source these bags for us? They had the custom branding on here. They literally cost us about 10p, maybe even less per unit. And we'd fully customize these with our logos and our designs. And these products, were just unbranded products with, that we were just buying off, our suppliers. But in order to add that extra branded feel and branded effect, which, can amplify, and I'll show you actually in a minute how this tied in as well, but it's just going to amplify your brand's presence and make it look and feel like a real brand. 99% of, customers that came to our site and our store would never realize that this was a dropshipping store. Everything about it looked like a real brand, from the socials, from the products, because these were unbranded products, but they would come in custom packaging, so the customer just wouldn't know the difference. All of it basically looked like, branded products, but it was just, wholesale sort of handbags. So what we actually did with the packaging as well is, if you are drop shipping and you haven't, customized your packaging or anything like that, you don't have to do the products. But if you are at a stage, where you are seeing some good results, make sure to customize the packaging. It's going to affect so much, even down to, when customers purchase from our brand, we'll get quite a lot of people going on the Instagram stories, sharing and tagging us in, unboxings, reviews, and, from the videos and from everything, it just looked like a real brand. We would then use that, UGC content or whatever you want to call it, and run ads through this. Obviously we'll get permission, and then when you're running ads and having this unboxing experience, this looks branded. So when you're running ads to, these other people, I just draw a person here, everything looks branded. The only disconnect is that, this is coming from China. To the average consumer, 99% of people, it would just look like, a fully stock-based brand. So when, we look at all these different factors that you can do without actually customizing the product, like if this was, just a random store, it was poorly branded, like all of this wouldn't really work well. And this is how you can actually win in dropshipping versus, someone that has a terrible branded store. There's no cohesion. There's no sort of this disconnect between the socials, the website, the customer journey, what products are on there. It's all a big sort of mishmash. Versus, this is how you actually win in dropshipping. And when we had multiple products on, this store here, let's just say we got multiple products, we would then, test, 3 to 5 products a week of new styles that they would send us. And that would be our sort of testing strategy. We'd have the main bulk of the products on here, and every week would add new styles, and that could be a job of our VAs or anything like that, is to upload them. I would do all the Photoshop work and stuff like that. But then we'd pick these styles, run tests on them, and if they were winners, we'd scale them up. But all these people were advertising to, who were sort of building this brand and building the brand awareness and brand value as well. So it's not like, you have someone interested in pet stuff, someone interested in, it could be shoes and fashion accessories, and, this brand is basically worthless. It's not targeted to anyone. Your socials are going to be a mess. There's no going to be, it's just all a sort of big mishmash. And what you want to do is initially find your product, go all in on that niche, and build an actual brand around it. Whether that's, you don't need to customize the packaging, but these can be implemented later on. You don't need to do it to the product. These can be implemented later on. But this is how you actually win at dropshipping. And yeah, I hope this video has helped and I hope you found it useful. But appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.